Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. One more person who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan has died. It was a person in the 70 to 79 age group in the Southwest Zone. 33 new cases are in the Northwest, with 16 in the immediate Lloydminster area, where we have 128 active cases. 174 people are in hospital, with 8 in the Northwest. 2,239 cases are considered active in Saskatchewan. More than 491,000 vaccine doses have been administered province-wide, with over 34,000 doses in the Northwest Zone. Residents in Recovery Lloydminster is setting up a new program for their clients that helps them work with animals, and they're looking for the community's help. The new program they're offering is Equine Insight, which focuses on equine-assisted learning. Creating connections between the horses and their clients can help on their recovery journey.
Working with animals, has been something that has been incorporated in, trauma therapies and recovery from a wide range of disorders, for years. So
the program will be run by one of Resident in Recovery's own facilitators, and introducing this type of program to their clients can be very beneficial in helping them recover.
Animals pick up and sense things a lot more than we do. So, working with them and learning communication skills and emotional regulation and that sort of thing, comes from experiences in working with animals a lot.
Residents in Recovery is hoping the community can provide them with some of the equipment they require for the new program.
Obviously we can purchase whatever, the public don't have to support us with, but we're obviously on a pretty tight budget still, so anything that we can get for free or cheap we'll take.
More information on the items they need or other ways to support residents in recovery is available on their Facebook page. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News. Thursday morning was the 10th annual Inclusion Lloydminster and Inclusion Alberta's fundraising breakfast event. It was planned for last year, but due to the pandemic they had to cancel. Now, with the help of technology and community support, the event was able to happen virtually.
While we can't be together in person, it is truly heartwarming to see so many faces on that screen. We have missed you.
Nearly 260 people from the community were logged in and joined the virtual breakfast in support of the fundraiser. Inclusion Lloydminster and Alberta are hoping to create awareness on all the work they do to help families within the community.
I think some of the benefits of holding the event virtually are, I think there are some people that maybe have never been able to attend this event prior because of work commitments and things like that, and now they're able to. There's no travel involved. They can just click in from their breakfast table or from their office.
Families shared their emotional stories about their hardships in life and how Inclusion Lloydminster and Inclusion Alberta helped them through it. With COVID-19 canceling the last event, they were worried about all the obstacles they had to avoid to keep up their budget.
Lloydminster is a very supportive community. We have individuals and organizations that have supported us for many, many years, and they have come through again.
Inclusion Lloydminster and Alberta hope to support more families with disabilities in the future and give them an exclusive life. 2 local women have started a podcast aimed at showcasing inspiring women from the area. Stacey Comer sat down with Jessie Mann and Michelle Sayers to talk about the Radically Relentless podcast.
I'm joined today on Primetime Local News by Jessie Mann and Michelle Sayers, and I'm so excited to talk to you ladies today about this podcast you've started. It's the Radically Relentless podcast. So Jessie, I guess we'll start with you. Tell me about the inspiration, why you guys decided to start this.
Well, first of all, thank you, Stacey, so much for having us. We are big fans of PTLN, you know that. So it's just such a pleasure to have you reach out. We're so happy to be here. We started the Radically Relentless podcast. I had done some podcasting before, and it was just time to switch it up a little bit. And my previous podcast partner decided to go back to school and do some really exciting projects. And I had driven out to Beauty from Bees. I wanted to meet Michelle. And so we sit down, we do a podcast, and then we realize, wait a minute, do we have something here? Should we be doing this together? So I actually went to podcast with her. And then before we knew it, we were sitting down in Timber Cafe and all of these different places around Lloyd, just hashing out what we wanted to do, who we are, and what we wanted to bring listeners. And before we knew it, Radically Relentless was born. And it's been a whirlwind. And we're so happy so many people are listening and loving it. And I mean, I'm so honored to be able to do this with Michelle. It's been a couple months. We feel like we've known each other our whole lives now. And yeah, we're stuck with each other now. And we're just so happy to have people listening in and participating.
Well, Michelle, I'll throw the next question at you just in regards to this podcast. I know the first couple was introducing yourselves, and then you had a chance to talk to Kelsey from Lower Shannon Farms. Michelle, how are you guys going to decide going forward who you're talking to on this podcast and what the subjects will be?
I think it's kind of interesting that you bring that up, because initially, I think when we started to discuss what we wanted to do, who we wanted to talk to, we were kind of on a different path. And now I think we've really kind of set the trail for what we want to do. Business owners, entrepreneurs, women that are like just so incredibly inspiring. One of the guests that we have recorded with, she's a childhood cancer survivor, and that story just touched our hearts. And it's just inspiration like that, women like this that get through these tough things, challenging moments, that just push through, that just prove they're radically relentless. It just brings so much light to our lives. And like, that's definitely the focus of where we want to go.
So how are you going to do this going forward? Are you going to have a regular schedule as to when you will release the podcast, or is it just going to be however it works for you guys?
And Stacey, I love that you have reached out and said, when are you dropping the next cast? What are you guys doing with your schedule? So we are obviously, I mean, everybody is, we're busy. The biggest thing is to let our topics and our guests sort of guide when we are dropping different episodes. We have committed and are doing our best to promise to drop 2 a month. As for a set date and time, the biggest thing is quality and bringing you quality stories and bringing you the most radically relentless people and topics that we possibly can. So rather than letting a schedule really guide us, we're just kind of trusting our intuition and trusting the vision a little bit to drop 2 a month and let those roll out whenever it happens, and whenever we can guarantee to stay true to that radically relentless vision that we're kind of establishing.
Now, the first 2 episodes were introducing yourself, Jesse, and Michelle, to yourself as well. Why was it important to start out by introducing the 2 of you? It's like super interesting backgrounds to listen to. I mean, and I guess that's part of the focus too, is getting to know the people on the podcast. But why did you decide to do one introducing yourselves first?
You know, it's so terrifying talking about yourselves. And part of it was we need to put ourselves in the shoes of what we're expecting our guests to do. And that was a big learning thing for us. And yeah, I mean, we want to surround ourselves with radically relentless people who are taking the tough stuff and turning it into fuel. And we can't ask people to go there and be vulnerable with us if we're not able to do the same. So we thought we'd sit down, be vulnerable ourselves, kind of open that up and say, we're here to, here's some things we've learned along the way. We're certainly not perfect, but we're in this together with our guests and with our listeners.
Well, Michelle,
Yeah,
I'm going to toss this question to you, Michelle, because when I listened, I'm not going to give too much away, but I was very surprised that you have a connection to the late Kobe Bryant, and I don't want you to give too much away because I want people to listen to it. But can you give me just a little bit of a back side to that story?
Yes, I know it does sound a little bit crazy, actually, when people say it. It happened so long ago too that it's just, yeah, something I don't really talk about very often. But of course, with him passing away, just kind of surfaced again some of the feelings and emotions, and hearing people talk about him, talk about the court case. So basically, he was charged. He had some charges brought forward against him. Somebody had said that he sexually assaulted her, and we did know her through a friend and happened to be with her a month after she had claimed these allegations. And we just witnessed things that were very important, critical kind of pieces to the entire case. So they flew us out to Colorado, and we actually testified on his behalf. Yeah, it's crazy. So we did talk a little bit about it, but we're definitely going to do a full episode on that as well.
Well, Michelle and Jesse, thank you so much. First of all, for doing this podcast, because it's so nice to hear stories of local women, especially that are inspirational. And, I think that there's a lot of people that do a lot of things behind the scenes in the Lloydminster area. And, Michelle, you're from Marwayne, that they just don't get credit for it. So this is a great way to highlight it. So going forward, do you see this as something that you maybe would like expand on, possibly, if there's a demand for it, do more, or are you just going to take it slowly first and then see where it goes?
Thank you showing so much interest in the podcast and for promoting it and loving it. We appreciate that so much. Definitely. If we have time, Jesse and I both have crazy schedules. If we have more time to do more recordings and we have people that we definitely need on the podcast that we want to showcase, we will do more for sure.
All right, thank you, Michelle and Jesse. I'll just wrap it up with you. Can you give us the information, people, where they can find podcasts, where they can find info about episodes and such?
Yeah, you bet. So we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out there. We are also on Instagram, so you can check us out there. And we really love when we have people reaching out. It's been great to have some people suggesting guests and suggesting topics. We love that. Reach out with us. And we've got some pretty sassy, radically relentless podcasts and some daily sort of motivation pieces that come out on there. So yeah, everybody can check that out there and reach out to us individually or through the Instagram. And yeah, we love to connect with everybody and find out what they love and what they'd like to hear more of.
Now our Connor Chan will take a first look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures right now, it's a bit cloudy, and as it has been over the past the whole day, rather, as we will see little bits of rain, but the wind's definitely going to pick up, and it's continuing going to be that way for next couple of days, as we could see wind gusts get over 30 kilometers an hour, and overnight tonight could see wind gusts getting to close to 60 kilometers an hour. As we take a look here, as our computer is just about to catch up here, we have been in the mild temperatures all day today, so around 13 has been our common number we've seen around the area, and it's been between that warm and cool area as we look right now. 12 degrees in St. Paul, 14 up in Bonnyville and Cold Lake, 13 also for Vermilion. We see 15s in North Battleford and Macklin as well. St. Walburg and Meadow Lake also seeing that 13-degree mark. Now here's what the interesting story is going to be for the weekend here. Lots of rain expected in Alberta, as it's good as that low pressure system is still going to be in effect for the next 24 to 48 hours. It will clear up around Sunday, but we could see heavy rain in some parts of Alberta. Whitecourt could see upwards up to 50 millimeters of rain, and we could see some more rain ourselves around the early parts of tomorrow, and then also a little bit of chance of periods throughout the day. Now taking a look at overnight, 3 degrees is with some cloud coverage continuing on in North Battleford, going into 13 degrees tomorrow with that same kind of cloud coverage throughout the day, going into overnight in Cold Lake, 5 degrees with cloud coverage, and 14 tomorrow for the daytime high, and then 12 degrees for our daytime high tomorrow with little bits of showers, as well as we could see maybe a little bit more chance of some rain, but only a 30% throughout the rest of the day here. Going to the next 3 days, 15 degrees for the daytime high on Mother's Day, so we will have some clear skies for that special day, and 19 degrees on Monday as we will get some more cloud coverage back. So it's giving us a little bit of a break there on that Mother's Day as we go back to the cloud coverage with that high of 19 degrees on Monday. That is a look at your weather for now. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Welcome back. It's seeding season in Saskatchewan. According to the provincial crop report, 9% of this year's crop is in the ground. That's ahead of the 5-year average. An abnormally cool spring delayed field work, but producers have made a big push during recent warmer days. Topsoil moisture remains below normal in many parts of the province. Now we'll take a look at your ag prices. Since the AJHL's return to play in February, the Lloydminster Bobcats have stayed busy, but not on the ice. But in the world of recruitment, 4 players have been signed for next season, including the most recent, Nick Hugendorn. Evan Kenny has more with Bobcats GM.
the Lloydminster Bobcats have signed another new prospect in 2003 born Nick Hugendorn from North Vancouver. Joining me today to break this all down is head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé. Nigel, thank you for taking this time and joining me. Now, Nigel, first things first, in signing Nick, what kind of a player are you guys going to be getting for next season?
Well, I think he's going to add a lot of size to our forward group. He's over 6'1", and he's a big boy. He's really strong. And then the other side of it is skill. I think that his release and he puts that strength into his shot. And it's something, Evan, that we've talked about many times about continuing to build on our offense. And that's what we're looking to get out of him. Obviously in Lloydminster here, we look for those guys that can compete and work hard day in and day out. He checks all those boxes, but I think, he's going to be a fan favorite. He likes to throw his body around too. And I think people will enjoy that style of it.
And Nigel, in that 2019-20 season there, the last full season that you guys had, we talked a lot about, goal scoring and how the team was losing a lot of 2-1 close hockey games, but low scoring. Nick scored a hat trick in his first Junior B game. So, just adding that depth scoring for your team as well.
Well, I think he's a shot first mentality, and that's a big part. We have some guys that, we added the offensive side that generates offense in the corners and does all that. But he's a guy that likes to pull the trigger. And that's the big part. I was even talking to Ethan Aucoin off of our team and talking about that. And Ethan still remembered him from the Max tournament 2 years ago. So he's a player that you kind of don't forget about, and it's one of those. But I think just his ability, he's really structured defensively, and then he's really creative offensively, and that's a big part that we're looking for. And the fact that he wants to shoot the puck, it's going to benefit because those pucks will get to the net, and whether he's the one scoring them or the other guys going to the net, that'll add to that offense we're looking for.
And now, Nigel, while he hasn't been playing many games this season, he was still competing as his team was able to still do practice and do some competition type drills. Just how much of a benefit is that for him?
Well, I think that's huge. And we've looked at that across Canada as a whole, and obviously North America. The Americans are playing games. In BC, as they've practiced the whole time and they've been able to play small area games the whole time on the ice. So it's a little bit different because Alberta's focused more on the skill basis and being on the ice, staying active that way. But the BC side of it, they've been able to implement what would be game-like situations more. And more often. So even though they didn't play the games, they still had those game-like situations that, we weren't able to have around here, and he was able to have out there for a year. So as far as his development goes, I think that's a big part of it and definitely adds to it.
And Nigel kind of touched on it there. He does have Junior B experience in BC, playing in the PIJHL. Just how big will this be for Nick coming to the AJHL, having already played against 20-year-olds?
Well, and that's the thing. You look at your 16, your 17-year-olds throughout a course of a season that sometimes they take a little bit longer to adjust to, the bigger bodies and playing against the older. And you see that peak closer to Christmas in the second half. And just Nick's, experience that he has had, especially throughout this whole season that it's been and the time we're in right now, those are going to be beneficial to him. And I think that's a big part because he's not going to come in and be surprised on day one when you're going up against 6 20-year-olds on the other side. He's going to have that confidence in his game. And really for him, it'll just be another day at the park.
Well, Nigel, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. Should be interesting to see Nick and the rest of the team hit the ice this upcoming fall.
Now we're Connor Chan. We'll take another look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Still sitting around 13 degrees. The wind's still around that 30-kilometer-an-hour mark, and it's going to continue to do so overnight tonight. And it's going to be like that for most areas in Alberta and Saskatchewan, as we are going to have a fairly windy weekend here. As we look ahead out west, we see temperatures at 11 in Athabasca, Edmonton, Rocky Mountain House, Edson sitting at 7 degrees, Whitecourt 6 degrees right now, as they could see a lot of rain over the course of Saturday. Looking ahead to Saskatchewan, 16 degrees for Saskatoon with 14 in Meadow Lake and Melfort. 15 degrees also we see see out in North Battleford right now. Northern Saskatchewan also seeing a little bit of cloud coverage as well, with those mild temperatures continuing up in the far north in Uranium City, Stony Rapids, and Walston Lake at 8 degrees, 9 degrees all the way for Flin Flon, and then 10 in La Ronge with 13 in both La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. Take a look to northern Alberta. They could see a little bit of cloud coverage themselves as well, with 14 in Fort McMurray, 11 in Fort Chipewyan, and we see 14 degrees in Grand Prairie with 9 in Peace River, and then 7 degrees in Slave Lake. Now, southern Alberta is going to be a different story heading into the weekend. There are parts of Calgary down south that could see a little bit of a rain-snow mix over the weekend, and 16 degrees in Lethbridge for right now, though, with 17 in Medicine Hat and 14 in Calgary. So those parts of southern Alberta could see those rain-snow mix, and same with Swift Current as well. They could see risk of wet snow starting tomorrow morning, and that could carry over down further south, where they are expected a little bit of some snow for tomorrow, a decent amount, around maybe upwards of maybe past the 2-centimeter mark tomorrow. 17 degrees though in Moose Jaw and Regina currently, with 13 in Yorkton and 15 in Estevan. Looking across the country, we see, clear skies for the most part in Winnipeg at 13, 14 in Quebec City, some cloud coverage out in the Maritimes and Ontario, sitting at 9 in Toronto and 11 in Halifax with 4 degrees in St. John. Clear skies in Vancouver though, with a high of 12 degrees. 12 also we see that number in Yellowknife, and Whitehorse also sitting at 16 degrees, and that cloud coverage is still hovering over the Edmonton areas, and Regina seeing a little bit of sun as well on top of that. Now here's what we could see for tomorrow. We are going to see some rain potentially starting into the morning, and that could stop around the afternoon for tomorrow. Still a mild day though, not as warm as we'd like it to be, so 12 will be our daytime high as we see around the immediate area here. 12 also in Marwayne. We'll see a little bit warmer up north in Bonnyville and Cold Lake, sitting at 14 degrees. 7 in Edmonton, as they will see a good amount of rain for tomorrow, so it's going to be pretty chilly out there. Looking at North Battleford, 13 tomorrow, and 12 also in Macklin and in Maidstone. Now here's a look at what we could see over the next 7 days. We are going to clear up for Mother's Day, so we're going to get a little bit of a break here in terms of the rain for Sunday. 19 degrees on Monday, 20 degrees on Tuesday as we start to warm up here early parts of the week. Going into Wednesday, we could see that sun and cloud mix once again here at a high of 19 degrees. So we'll have a good start to our week here, and then we'll see back-to-back days of 15-degree temperatures with sun and cloud mixes throughout the days. We usually average around 17 degrees for our May and 4 degrees for our average low for the month. That is a look at your weather for now. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Welcome to a new feature on Primetime Local News. I'm Joanne Marshall from Simple Farmer, and this is a Sustainable Success, a community collaboration project. So today we have a special little collaboration taking place here with Home Hardware, Red Banjo Studios, and we're going to talk about wildflowers, photography, and how to make wildflower bombs. So I'm here with the lovely Sarah. Thank you today for meeting with me. Sarah, can you tell me why wildflowers are a good choice?
Sure. Wildflowers are a great choice. For starters, they're absolutely beautiful. They make great cut flowers, and they are great for attracting birds, butterflies, bees, and other pollinators.
Absolutely. Love that. What's the best time, Sarah, to plant wildflower seeds?
Really anytime after the last frost.
Ooh, when is that?
So for us, we keep an eye on the weather.
Never.
And then it's different every year. Sometime after May long weekend is usually when we start paying close attention.
That's
waiting
smart.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of hold off and wait until May long to plant my garden, just because.
Yeah.
But when or where is the best place to plant our wildflower seeds?
Really anywhere that you want to add a touch of beauty. They make great borders. They do well in like those neglected areas of your yard where there's some empty soil.
Love that. That's a great idea. And can we purchase wildflower seeds at Home Hardware?
Absolutely. We've got a full selection of little packets and big packs of wildflower seeds.
I love that. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
So Kristen Hickman is here from Red Banjo Studios. Her and her little girls, we're going to do a fun little workshop. But before we get into that, Kristen, let's talk photography.
Sure.
So where did you get your start in photography?
I'm an artist, and I went to an art school in Edmonton, and photography class was one of my favorite classes. And then once I had my babies, I wanted to take pictures of them, and my love for photography just kind of grew from there.
Oh, I love that. Your styled shoots always look so glamorous and everyone's so pulled together. Can you give us a little tip on like how to pull that off?
I would say definitely Pinterest is your friend. So I've got like a Pinterest page and a board that shows all kinds of beautiful styled shoots and nothing too matchy stuff that just nicely coordinates, flowy dresses and things that can catch in the wind. And
so look for consistency in things that like everyone's wearing like something that flows, or everyone's wearing their hair down.
Yep. And textures like linens and
so smart.
Yeah, lots of and layers too.
I love that. Can we talk about props now? And this
Sure,
beautiful chair,
yes.
it's gorgeous. Kristen, where did you find this?
My mother-in-law found the original chair at an antique shop, and it was all just gray, which you can kind of see coming through a bit. And I painted it gold and used a ton of hot glue to put all this moss on, and as well as the florals, they're all just hot glued. And I did notice when I came in today that there are a ton of gorgeous florals at Home Hardware.
Yes, and I believe they're all on sale.
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
Kristen, this is beautiful. With this being your busy season,
yep.
How soon should we be booking for a styled shoot with you?
Well, right now for family photos, I'm booking into August and the rest of fall. But for grads, I recommend 1 to 2 years in advance, because next year I've already got about halfway full for my grads and a few the following year too. So
that is awesome. And then by booking early, you ensure you get a prime spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's fantastic. So Kristen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun.
I love it.
Yeah, great.
Okay, well, I'm here today with my special guests, Miss Lola and Miss Ruby, and we're making flower bombs. So the girls are just ready to package these up. These are just simple flower bombs that we made from wildflower seed and some construction paper. And we're just gonna package these up with the little seed is already sprinkled into the paper. So Lola's cutting up the directions on how to use the flower bombs, and Ruby's packing them into the plastic. So they're pretty simple, and they're a pretty gift to be able to give to a friend or to a mom for Mother's Day. So then you would just add a couple of the seed bombs in. And then we're just gonna seal up that with a little sticker. You got that, Lola? All right, girl. I'll take that. Atta girl. Good job, Rube. Yep, just fold it over, seal it up, and then we'll put a little sticker on the back. That's perfect. Girls, you did an excellent job. Very good. What do you think of that? Pretty simple, hey? If you're looking for more instructions on how to create the flower bombs, I'll list them on simplefarmer.ca.
You're welcome.
Love it. So we're here with our spring drinks. I've got an oat milk latte, which is my absolute favorite. What do the girls have, Sarah?
The girls are drinking a drink from our new spring menu, and it's called the Wildflower Handcrafted Soda.
So what makes these drinks so special? What's in them?
They are made with our floral syrups, soda water, and then what makes them really special, of course, is the little pansy we put on top.
I love that. What do you guys think? Is it tasty? Oh, I love that. Okay, well, it's safe to say that my co-host stole the show here. So we'll just close out by saying thanks, girls, for coming today in this cool collab that we did with Home Hardware and Red Banjo Studios. And we'll leave everybody with a little wish.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you again soon. You have an opportunity to support the Legion here in Lloydminster and win an incredible grand prize in their brand new raffle. It is the She Shed raffle. If you win the grand prize, you're going to win this beautiful shed that's valued at $10,000. You can set that up in your backyard, and then you've got your own little oasis, your own space that you can go to and just block the world out. Relax, rewind, unplugged. Plus, when you get a ticket, you support the Legion here in Lloydminster. Second prize is a spa day, and third prize is a wheelbarrow planter full of beautiful flowers. If you want to get your tickets, just $10 each, you can stop by Cliff Rose for closing downtown Lloydminster. They're also available at Coldwell Banker and Midway Towing, or you just call the Legion for all the details. 306-825-2521. The draw's coming up on Canada Day. The 10th annual Second Chance Trail Ride is scheduled to take place tomorrow. And this trail ride, it's an opportunity to spend the day outdoor traveling the historic Iron Horse Trail, going from Lindbergh to Elk Point, plus raising awareness and raising funds to help out organ and tissue awareness. If you'd like to get all the details, make sure you're keeping an eye on their Facebook page and also on the website, secondttr.com. They're constantly updating and sharing the different guidelines and protocols that will be followed to make sure that this event can take place safely. And they do have plans to host a drive-in concert later on this summer. You can get all those details on their website as well. And starting on Thursday is the first day of the 50 Minutes for 50 Years Activity Challenge fundraiser in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters in Lloydminster. So you get to pick your activity, and then you have fun for 50 minutes and raise funds to help out an important cause. So I got out my skipping rope from elementary school, and we'll see if I can still do a few tricks. Not as good as elementary school, but not bad. If you want to get your team registered, just call Big Brothers Big Sisters at 306-825-5757. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, I'm joined with Abby St. John, as always, for the Friday Entertainment Panel. Abby, Marvel released a new video, just a little bit of a sizzle reel of what we could expect for their next phase. So talk about what we saw and also the excitement it brings, because we've been waiting for a lot of these movies for a while, of course, with COVID, them being pushed back. So talk about what was in that sizzle reel and what we could expect.
Yeah, so they released about a 3-minute video on May 3rd celebrating the movies. That's what they called it. And how far Marvel has truly come since 2008. The beginning is a montage of the MCU with Stan Lee narrating it, including a clip from the opening night of Endgame showing the audience's reactions when everyone came through the portal and everyone cheering right before the final battle. That was shown as well right before Marvel's intro, their classic intro into their next phase of Marvel. So they showed the release dates for their upcoming movies and what we can expect. Of course, Black Widow starting us off. It's been pushed back several times. It's officially being released in theaters July 9th, 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, September 3rd, 2021. The Eternals, which we haven't seen much of yet, just a little bit of their cast list, but they showed a clip that from Eternals that we can expect to see. So that was really exciting, seeing that first look. And that will be released on November 5th. Spider-Man No Way Home will be released December 17th. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be released March 25th, 2022. Thor Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. They released the official title for Black Panther 2 called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which will be released on July 8th, 2022. The Marvels, which will be Captain Marvel 2. It will be titled The Marvels, will be released November 11th, 2022. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium will be released February 17th, 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be released May 5th, 2023. And they also teased the Fantastic Four. No release date, but they did tease it at the very end. So that's something we can expect in the near future as well.
Yeah, and of course with that clip of the Eternals, because that was the big one, Abby, because we haven't quite seen anything, and now we're all really excited, especially now that Chloe Zhao is officially an Oscar-winning director, and her, just from what I saw, the first glimpses of it, those sunset shots just look really gorgeous, and then of course a little look as well of some of those other movies as well, also really excited for. A little bit new footage also from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And one of the last things, we're moving to TV, Abby, and it was announced earlier today, or earlier last night rather, where Jesse Williams, the very one of the long-standing cast members of Grey's Anatomy, is announcing he is leaving the show. So talk about not only just your reaction, but what this now means for Grey's Anatomy.
I am absolutely heartbroken. One of my favorite characters earlier, a few weeks ago, he left the show. And so now having Jesse Williams leave the show is very heartbreaking. He's portrayed Dr. Jackson Avery for 12 years on the show, and he has been such an amazing character, and he's brought so much life to Grey's Anatomy. It's going to be really sad to see him go. But his final episode will air on May 20th, titled Tradition, and he stated, "The experience and endurance born of creating nearly 300 hours of leading global television is a gift I'll carry always." So this will also wrap up the 2-year contract that he signed in 2019. So it's going to be incredibly sad, and there's going to be a hole in Grey's Anatomy once he's gone for sure. You know, we have a few of other characters that have left over the years, but he really has made a lasting impact on the show that's going to be remembered forever. His next project, however, apart from Grey's Anatomy, he will be starring alongside Winston Duke in the Amazon film Marked Man. So we'll be able to see him in other aspects of his career and what he does going forward. I'm very excited to see.
And of course, we did see him, of course, for all those video game lovers. He was, of course, in NBA 2K21, which I didn't quite realize. I kind of had to put 2 and 2 together there, but until I realized that was him, that was really cool of him to do that. Of course, he will be dearly missed on Grey's Anatomy. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. Some rain possibly for tomorrow with a high at 12 degrees. Clear skies for Mother's Day with that high of 15 degrees. 19 on Monday, 20 degrees for Tuesday, 19 on Wednesday, as we are going to see some sun come back into the forecast. And then we'll have 15-degree days on both Thursday and on Friday, as we're still above average for our averages for our high for this month, and also around our averages for our daytime lows.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great weekend.